What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm giving the full roadmap to how I built this ChatGPT ad spot for our company. We're offering ChatGPT ads, and this whole video is exactly how I created it. I'm not going into the weeds of the editing portion of it, but how I generated this stuff with real talent, AI environments, and absolutely zero green screen.
The last time you needed an answer, did you Google it or did you just ask AI? Be honest, because the facts are, your customers stopped Googling a long time ago. Search gives you 10 links, 4 of those being ads, and a pile of homework. AI, it just gives you the answer. Instant, personalized, done. Ads inside ChatGPT are finally here. And the brands that move first, they won't just be found, they will be in the answer. Brotherdale gets your brand into the answer. Let's talk.
This is going to be a super valuable video. I'm going to be looking at this computer a lot because this is all my notes. I'm not a YouTuber, but if you are into AI video creation, you want to know more about prompting, more about how you use Claude, Higgsfield, different engines like Seedance 2.0. This is the video for you. This is going to be very, very in-depth on the actual workflow. I created this outline essentially into 6 different phases. Phase 1. Curation and Claude roadmap. This is super important. I use basically Claude as the brains behind this whole project. When I went into it, I had the details of the script and the things I wanted to come across in the ad. I was able to give it an outline and basically tell it, I want to have this ad and I want it to be a 30-second ad spot. So give me a few different variations of this ad for the speaking portion of it that I gave to Michael, who was a talent in this video. This is super important because if you know Seedance 2.0, you know that the plan for me was to take the environment that we're shooting in and replace it with a completely different environment and different scenes. So for Claude, I had it basically organize this script into segments of sentences that would be anywhere from 4 seconds to, I think the longest one we had was 8 seconds. That was just knowing in mind that I was going to replace those environments with my environments that I built out. So that's really important. Also, being able to structure the script itself into a punchy, attention-grabbing ad, because we're going to be running this as a real ad for a real offering for our company. And that's like the thing with Claude is it's very smart, and it's even smarter if you're able to utilize it in the way that will help you with your projects. So throughout this whole project, I used Claude to help me prompt, help me troubleshoot different issues I was having. It's such a head start when it comes to being able to troubleshoot, being able to ask questions, being able to reference different things. It's huge. So bring Claude along with you when you're doing these kind of projects. Second thing is I used Pinterest to build out the environments. This was really important because if you go into Higgsfield or Nano Banana Pro and you go, I want a dark studio environment, or I want a filmy, vibey environment, whatever. You're gonna get some AI slop, and it's not gonna look that great, and then you might just settle for it because it takes some time, you gotta wait for generations, all of those things. That's pretty much very entry-level AI thinking. So for me, I go to Pinterest for a lot of things because Pinterest has a whole library of thousands and thousands and millions probably images that are for the category you're looking for. So for me, I went on there, I found some incredible studio environments that I really like. This is one scene that I used right here. It's the more amber-esque look, orange, it looks great. When I was going through these, I was just going through and finding shots I like. A lot of it's fashion, a lot of it is some Lululemon, ASR VS, some really cool stuff, just different fashion elements that are on Pinterest are awesome. And so the only issue is in these things is that there's a person in the environment. So that's when I go over to Claude and I'm like, hey, take the person out of this, give me a prompt from Nano Banana Pro to be able to take the human out of this. And I just want the environment. I just want the aspects of this environment. Now I would add haze in there. It adds the different elements I want. I wanted a spotlight effect on Michael, the talent, as he's in this scene. So all of those little things. But the point is I'm going to Pinterest to find these things because it's not AI. It's a real creative look that looks real. I could set that up in my studio and make it look like that in real life. This just saves me time to be able to do those kind of things. I can change scenes. I have multiple scenes in here. I think I have 4 or 5 different looks in this video, which are all basically based on a real life scene, which is huge. And it really takes away the AI slot feeling to this video, because this video is primarily AI. And that's the really big takeaway when it comes to the workflow and curation of Claude during this first phase of the video. The second one was building the environments. Like I just said a second ago, the clean plates. When I found the environments I wanted, I I brought them into Claude, and this is a really important part. Bring them into Claude first. So I downloaded them from Pinterest, bring them into Claude first so it can see it, so it can actually understand what you're working with. If you just explain the photo, or if you just explain what you're going for, it will tell you that it has it, but it doesn't fully have the vision. So bring that photo into Claude so it can see what you're working with. And from there, I wanted a prompt for Nano Banana Pro. That's what I used the most because that's the best at looks. It can get a look super, super well. It's not as good with text or graphic design. The really important part here now is to understand that I already have the environment. So I know the look I want. I'm not looking for creativity here. I'm looking for structure, and I want the exact thing that I want out of this. So for this type of thing, you want to use a JSON prompt. JSON prompting is basically in the simplest form, it is code that AI understands. So we talk to AI with Claude or with whatever else. You can do this with basically every single engine out there is natural language. That's what the way they've sold it to us. You just talk to it and it generates stuff. The only problem with that is that natural language is not the language that's naturally for AI. So even though they've been able to develop these ways for it to understand what you're trying to say, JSON prompting is the code for AI, and that is able to not be as creative, but it's able to be very, very structured to get exactly what you want out of that prompt. So I have these environments, and I really wanted a spotlight effect on Michael in the 2 different scenes that I had him in, and I'll go into that in a second. But I pulled out the people that were in these scenes, if there's anybody in them, and I'm looking for environments that match the way I shot the actual scene, so it looks pretty natural. Now AI will be able to match it pretty well, but with me, I want it to be like really, really, really good. So I went through and I found different environments that match the camera angle that I filmed Michael when he was talking in our studio in. And then I was able to take any elements I didn't want out and add any elements I wanted back in. So I had this dark spotlight effect, which was awesome for the video. For a few scenes, I wanted a little bit farther back. So I had an environment with it just farther. And then I had a few environments that were closer up, also straight on, kind of a quarter turn top down look. And then I generated a few other environments that were kind of a cool blue environment right here, which looks really great. And then also right here, a more amber orange feel that was a straight on shot and also doubled as a top down kind of look. The real important part about this is I needed those 2 angles, and I shot the video with having, and we'll get into that in the next thing, but having the AI generations in mind. So when you're doing this type of thing, you want to shoot the video like you're directing for AI. Phase 3, directing with AI in mind. So the first thing is I filmed Michael on a white backdrop. That basically separated him from the backdrop, and it was able to, since he's wearing a whole different outfit, is able to make it a lot easier for AI to take him out of that environment and put him into any environment that I give it. I did that on purpose because I knew that I was never going to use the environment we shot it in. So, but I also lit it like he was in a spotlight, and it was lit by one light. There's one light on the background, so you can kind of see the background, so it's still white, giving him a little bit of a rim light on the edge of his shirt, so it makes him stand out more, which makes it easier for AI to understand what's happening and keep all the details. The most important part about this video was making sure he did not look AI. The environment itself could look whatever. I really want it to look great and look real. But of course, it's gonna vary a little bit on how it's gonna look. But the most important part that I could not compromise on was getting his look down perfect. He needed to look real. If he looks AI, that just drops the whole thing. It pulls you right out of the movie. It pulls you right out of the moment. You just lose it. So that turns into AI slop. The second thing is I shot him on a director's chair, which is super important as well. You could shoot him standing up and it would probably do a very, very good job, but I knew if I shot him on a seat that it would be an anchor for the AI to know exactly the way that he's positioned, how to put him in the scene. It's anchoring that person into that scene. The next note was lighting him. I lit him for the scenes that I wanted him to be in the AI world. So it was one light above, kind of on the side to get that nice cinematic lighting, which helped out a lot when it came to the actual prompting of the environments. When he was gesturing and the way we coached him to talk, he didn't have his hands everywhere. His hands were down here for most of it. He was still talking with his hands. It still felt like he's trying to portray what he's saying, and it's very believable, but he wasn't going crazy and it wasn't making AI go, too nuts and trying to nail down a bunch of different hand movements. Seedance 2.0 is super advanced, so it's gonna be fine if you have somebody who's going a little bit more crazy with their hands. But for this, I wanted to be safe. I wanted to be very, very focused on getting Michael completely correct in the scene. I also shot Michael doing the same exact script in both angles because I wanted to cut between both to make the video more energizing, more captivating, capturing attention, keeping that attention. So I shot both scripts from face forward and then also the one from the top view, which is a way to basically engage faster with the audience so I can cut to different scenes. If you're doing real talent and AI environments, you have to have the camera angle of him talking. It won't be able to recreate that in different angles. It doesn't look great, and I'll tell you why when we run into that problem later on in this video. For phase 4, the fusion of this. So this is where Seedance 2.0 comes in so clutch. It's an incredible engine, it's insane. So what I did was I brought all my footage into Premiere, did all the color grading, did all the audio, fixed the audio, cleaned it all up, and synced it all up and cut all the clips and the scenes that I wanted to generate in AI. I took those, I exported them as a 1080p timeline, and I put them into Seedance 2.0. This is video to video. So you can go up to 15 seconds. You can be at 1080p at 10-bit, which is incredible. So it fixes the banding issues a little bit more. But I also put that into the prompt, which we'll get to that in a little bit. So you have that, and then I also had the environments that I previously created. So what you're putting into Seedance is the video you want to reference. So Michael talking, let's just say it's the intro scene to this video.
The last time you needed an answer, did you Google it or did you just ask AI?
That's the first scene. And so those are two different camera angles. But so I put in the first sentence, which is just literally, last time you needed an answer, did you Google it? That's all it is. It's about a 4-second clip. So I put that into Seedance 2.0, and then I also put the environment that I wanted him to be in into the prompt. And that's what I basically did for each thing. In that prompt, I'm putting it into Claude. So when I'm doing this first scene, Claude knows I'm putting a video into Seedance 2.0. It can't watch video. So I take a screenshot of the actual video that I'm working on, and it's just the raw video that's in the studio. Put it into Claude. Then I put the environment that I created also into Claude and say, hey, I'm making this video. I'm putting this in the Seedance 2.0. I need a detailed prompt. I want to keep all of Michael correct. I don't want anything to change from his performance. I want his skin tone to be the same. I want you to match the lighting of the scene, but don't change crazy features on him. I want the lighting to be believable with the environment that I'm putting into, but I want to keep the voice the exact same, his speech the exact same, his gestures and motion the exact same, all of it. I want him to look real. And then I put the environment in there so Seedance knows what environment I'm putting him into so it can create the prompt for that. Now, a really important part about this workflow is this part. If you're doing a video with the real talent and they're actually giving lines and you're wanting to create an environment around that, you want to put in the line that he's saying. So early on in the video, I started prompting it and I started getting different things back. What would happen is if I didn't give it the exact script, it would get 85% of the script right, and then it would just be like some AI weird words where it's like, where did you get that from? So what I started doing was I would actually type into Claude the exact words that he said. So he obviously changed the scripts a little bit, so I couldn't go in the script and actually copy and paste it, and just literally typed out exactly what he said to Claude, and Claude's able to take that and put it into a prompt for Seedance 2.0 to create that prompt and have all the words right. When I did that, it was 100% hit rate every time. Literally, it got every single word right and saved me probably $100 in prompting, which is awesome. So it's a huge little trick to be able to do this. The color wrapping, this is a really important thing. So again, when you want to do for this, when you're prompting, make sure Claude knows that you want to keep the talent correct, the way they look, the way they're moving, the way they're talking, all of those things. But you also do want to match the lighting in the environment. It's going to help a lot if you shoot with the lighting in mind, like I did, but it'll also help if you don't shoot with the lighting in mind. It will be able to recreate that look, but you want it to preserve the skin tones and the way that the lighting's hitting it, so it doesn't look like he's either copied and pasted into the scene, or it looks like a green screen, or it just looks fake overall. You really do want to sell the look, and that's what we did here. In every single one of these shots, Michael literally has the correct shadows, the correct shadows on his face, the correct skin tones. All of these things look real. Yeah, you can tell the environment looks almost a little too good, but he looks a part of it. And these are all like, they look very possible to shoot in a studio, which is exactly what I was going for. I want it to look better than a studio, but not too good to where it's like, is that AI? Claude will do all the heavy lifting for you if you just tell it those simple details. Just tell it what you're going for and bring it along with you. So that's why it's so important to screenshot the video, of the raw video that he's in and give it to Claude, give Claude the environment that you're working with so it knows what you're going for. At one point in this video, I created a silhouette of Michael. So I was able to take 2 photos of Michael from a YouTube video, and so it knew what he looked like. Obviously, I already had these videos too, so I took some screenshots of this, and I was able to create a silhouette shot with him looking, basically it's an outline, black outline of him right here, and it says AI question mark, and you can see that he's talking here. Now, he's not actually saying any words because you can't prompt Seedance to say the correct words, but you can prompt it to be able to have talking gestures. So what I did was here, I had him like explaining something. I told Claude to have this video of him explaining it. In order to get this outline for this video, I went into Nano Banana Pro, had it create I had Claude prompt this in JSON prompting, had it create a silhouette of Michael. And then from there, I was able to go back into Claude, have it create a prompt for Seedance, and create a video of Michael explaining something in this fully silhouetted shot, which looks incredible, and this brings one more element to this video. Phase 5. This part is interesting. So the graphics and the titles. In history, AI is just really, really bad, especially in video, of creating text and graphics and all of those things to keep it correct. I'm also using this is a ChatGPT ad, with ChatGPT being copyrighted, so we ran into so many different issues with that. Now, I am also very good in Premiere and After Effects, so I did all the graphics. Every single thing you see on here, I created myself in After Effects with using 3D space and all of those things for the text. Now, that is a fairly simple thing to do. I'm gonna go over to my timeline real quick so you can kind of see it. If you're not a 3D artist or know about After Effects or any of those things, it's gonna be a little bit more time consuming for you. But essentially, I was able to create these texts, animated them, put them in 3D space, all of those things for each scene. So as you can see, all these scenes, I added all the text in there, added some blurs, different things. That's a little bit more advanced. And if you're that person that knows how to do this stuff, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just want to sell this to you right now, or actually not sell it to you, inform you. When you watch these videos of AI creators, they tell you that you can put text in 3D space, you can do all these things, you can prompt this. That was the whole thing when Seedance came out in Higgsfield, and it's not reality. You can do minor things, but it's a strenuous process to be able to get the text correct. So if you can, do text on your own. If anything, this video would have been fine. If it would have just been him talking, it still would have been awesome. But being able to have that extra skill of doing it in After Effects or doing it in Premiere just makes the whole video even more real. Again, this is why I'm saying AI is such a tool. It can do some crazy heavy lifting, and then it can't do some of the simpler things that you need to do when it comes to creating videos that are professional, at a professional level, that you can use for client work or for your own company's use. Now, there's a scene here where I created a video that says AI ads. It goes from Michael to transition. It goes from Michael to the AI ads. Now, I wanted to put ChatGPT ads, but you can't do that with programs because it's copyrighted, right? So I used, for this one thing, I used ChatGPT Image 2, that engine, because it's a lot better at text. That's like its specialty, is to be able to curate the text how you want it. Then I basically did a start and end frame to create Michael in this same environment as one of the scenes, and it goes over to the AI ads. Now, the text on top of Michael was also in After Effects, so I did all of that stuff myself. I tracked them and did those effects in there. So that's another way of just, amplifying it, that, hey, a human did make this video. It's not just AI prompting. This is it's a full-rounded thing that's happening. When I created Michael in the lit area, when he's on the desk typing, this is talking to the audience about, when you're Googling, you're not finding your results, blah, blah, blah. So I created these scenes in Nano Banana Pro, brought this over to Claude and had it prompt some really great prompts for some simple videos in Seedance that I could just create and put them in here. I obviously added all the sound design, all of those things, but those are really easy, just taking what Michael looks like, and it was able to recreate that pretty easily in Nano Banana Pro. Also, books falling around him. This is also a Seedance 2.0 prompt. I just wanted basically homework books to fall around him when he's saying it gives you a bunch of homework. So another visual effect, but still keeping Michael true to life. He looks very real, looks very naturally in that environment, and just adding in that visual appeal to make the ads stand out just that much more. Phase 6, the human touch. So this is, again, what I just talked about. It's creating these videos with AI with the real performance of a person inside of the studio. You're actually filming their real performance, their audio, their facial expressions, all of those things, but also being able to create and prompt those videos for an awesome outcome, but then also being able to shoot and direct for that. So the shots that I used were with AI in mind. I'm shooting on a white backdrop. I have it already lit. I know exactly what's going to happen, the pacing of the video, all of those things, the text that I'm willing to use, the environment that I'm leaving room for text. So it's a full circle moment where you're having AI do a lot of the heavy lifting that's not possible before. So this would not be possible before. So all have to be on a green screen, a lot of compositing, or simply just going into a studio and lighting every scene how you want it. But now we're able to get the AI backdrops, get fallen books, have Michael preserved, have text and foreground elements that I can go in and do myself with After Effects, but not having to do all the other things that save so much time on that side. And you stack all these things in order and you create something incredible. Now, when it comes to the tempo and the way the storytelling is, yes, AI was able to prompt that script for me, but when it comes to the actual tempo and the storytelling, it's still gonna be about what song you use, when you cut the audio off to hear the punchline, what zoom in they're using for like the cameras. So in this video, I'm utilizing a lot of zoom ins to amplify what he's saying. That's all inside of how do you make a good ad that comes down to actual skill. So you can prompt as much as you want, but if you can't really tell a story with video, a lot of this won't matter. But if you can mix all of it together into one thing, you can get an incredible result. A good thing to take away is for Nano Banana Pro creating the environments, that was all JSON prompting. When it comes to Seedance 2.0, do not JSON prompt. Give it natural language prompts that Claude creates for you. They have to be under 2,500 characters, which is no problem at all. You don't get any benefit from JSON prompting in Seedance. You really get the most benefit from Kling and from Nano Banana Pro for JSON prompting. And that's where you're trying to build those environments and build those things that you don't want to change much. And I guess this is phase 7, but this is just to wrap up for you guys. The big takeaways from this video are AI builds the world. That's the first thing. You need AI to build the world, but you want to use a Pinterest or a real reference point to make sure your world doesn't look too AI. Second thing is humans bring it to life though. The timing, the music, the pauses, the way you emphasize words, all of those things, the performance of Michael, the talent in the video, those things bring this video to life. So it's not just a clearly AI video. It's a marriage of both. A few more takeaways. Shoot real talent. That's obviously what I said a second ago. That really does make the difference. Finish it by hand, okay? Go in there, tweak your stuff, color grade it to what you want it to be, add text, add the pacing of the video, give it your own creative feel to it. It has to be yours. The best things about this is you can get that cinematic look without having to do 5 different shoots and set up lighting and do all this stuff. You want to have your own creative feel for it, but you also want to have Claude be your brains and your basically co-worker behind the scenes and be able to orchestrate what you're doing. But again, let AI do that heavy lifting for you. Let it do the things you can never do before and let your creativity do the rest, and you will build absolute art. So I hope this helped out. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll do some more stuff on this. I'll do a deeper dive into different projects, whatever you guys want. Let me know. Peace.